Hey everybody, this is Pastor Jake. I'm here with Pastor Mike, and first of all, we just want to say thank you so much for the work that you do in volunteering here at LBC. You know, I come on Sunday mornings and I see dozens and dozens of people serving, and it just blows me away. And so we just want to say thank you all sincerely so much for what you do. You're serving the Lord here at LBC. We're here today, we're introducing our new child protection policies as a church. We've been working on this for a long time. About a year ago, we formed a child protection policy committee. We wrote some policies, and then those policies have worked their way through the elder board discussions, and we're ready to go. We're ready to implement these for our ministries. But before we dive into the details of what these policies are, I just thought it'd be helpful for us to take a moment and talk through, you know, why are we doing this? Why bother spending time on child protection policies? I mean, most of us kind of know each other. We're in a small town. So Mike, why would we bother thinking this through?
Yeah, you know, one of the biblical responsibilities that we're given as elders here by the Lord is to be protecting God's people, and I see this as part of that. We're to watch over the spiritual well-being of God's people and also the physical well-being, and that's from the youngest to the oldest. And so these policies that we've thought through, we're just looking for a good way to keep God's people safe from the time that they're young all the way up through. And not only protecting the students themselves, the children, but also the workers against accusations in the world that we live in now. That's a real thing. Right. And so we try to think through what's the best policies for that. Right. And it's kind of what we're coming up with here.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of people from the community coming in for like VBS and different things, and
and God has blessed us with a reputation of being a safe place to take your kids, to drop them off here in town, and we want to keep that gift that God has given to us.
Right. Right. I just think too, you know, predators look for places with low fences. And what I mean by that is predators are looking for churches where nobody's on guard, where there aren't maybe many rules or policies. And you know, the sad reality is we live in a world where people do come to churches looking to take advantage of other people. And you know, an article recently came out against the kind of Southern Baptist Church, kind of a sad deal. You know, huge denomination, a lot of churches, biggest Protestant denomination in the States. But it highlighted 700 victims of just people being taken advantage of, even children down to 3. And so the whole point in talking about this and doing these policies, it's not to hit the panic button. It's not to get everyone to be suspicious of everybody else. But the point is, it's healthy, I think, for us as a church to be aware of the context that we're in right now, and it's healthy for us to be on guard against danger that might come. You know, we don't want to be the church with the low fences. So that's what this is kind of all about. And boy, you as a volunteer play a critical role in helping us to keep the children safe here at LBC. So thank you for taking a moment to watch this and to read the child protection policy and to take the quiz. We just appreciate you all so much. Yeah. Thanks. All right, well, I want to take a moment to walk through our policy for children ages 2 years old through 5th grade. So if you serve in a ministry that incorporates those age groups, this video is for you, ages 2 years old through 5th grade. Now, after watching this video, what you need to do is you need to read the policy in full, and then you need to take the quiz, an open book quiz. Don't worry, if you read the policy, it's not that hard. Now, the point of this video really is to highlight a couple of key things from the policy. Some things that maybe are new to you or some things that are a little bit different. We just want to highlight those. So here we go. Number one. All volunteers are required to fill out an application to provide references and to consent to a background check. And really the idea here is, again, we don't want to be one of the churches that has low fences. We don't just let anyone come in to work with and interact with our children. So you need to fill out an application and consent to a background check. You should know that those background checks will be renewed every 5 years. I do want to mention at this point something that you should know about. Students ages 12 years old and up are allowed and really encouraged to serve as assistants in our children's ministry. They are a great help to teachers. But you should know this, children who are under the age of 12 are not allowed to serve as assistants in Sunday school classes or kids zone, things like that, unless they are assisting their parents directly. So unless they're with their parents, children under the age of 12 are not allowed to serve as assistants. Second, children should never be left alone in a room without an adult. Now that's just kind of common sense, really, but it's good to mention. And really beyond that, as an adult, as a volunteer, you should never place yourself in a scenario where you are alone, one-on-one with a child in a place that can't be observed by other people. So it's important to keep that in mind. Next, restroom stops. Listen, bathroom breaks are just a part of working with children at church. The time is going to come where you need to assist children in taking a trip to the restroom. But it matters that we do this the right way, and we're making some tweaks to how we do this at LBC, so it's important that you pay attention here. The main thing to keep in mind is this. As a volunteer, you are not allowed to be alone with a child in an enclosed restroom. That's really the thing to keep in mind. As a volunteer, you just can't be alone with a child in an enclosed restroom. So how do we do this? I mean, what if just one child needs to use the restroom and maybe they're 3 years old and you got to help them? How do you do this? Well, we as a Child Protection Committee, we racked our brains over this one, trying to figure out a way with our facilities to be able to do this. And we finally found a solution that's really good. We actually made some changes to our building in order to accommodate for this. So you may have noticed that in the nursery there is a nursery restroom, and then beyond that there's a room that used to be the nursing mother's room. Well, we actually changed the location of the nursing mother's room to down the hall. And then beyond that, another change we made to the building is the door that goes from the nursery into the nursery restroom was cut in half. And so now it's a split door, so you can open the top and yet the bottom can stay closed. Now here's the reason for that. Children ages 2 years old through preschool, so 2 years old through preschool, should use the restroom that is connected to the nursery. So here's how this should work. If a 2, 3, 4-year-old student, 2 years old through preschool, if they need to use the restroom, they need to use the restroom that's connected to the nursery. And when you as a volunteer take them to the restroom, you should make sure that that split door, the top part, stays open. That way you can assist the child if they need help, but you're not alone with a child in an enclosed restroom. Now, here's how you enter that restroom. We want to make sure that volunteers aren't bringing children through the nursery into that restroom, and that's why we moved the nursing mother's room. So now if you're a volunteer and you need to take a child to the restroom, you need to enter through the old nursing mother's room, that room adjacent to the nursery, and bring them into that restroom, and of course leave that half door open. Now, this actually works really well because if you need to take 3 children to the restroom at once, that room isn't being used for anything, the old nursing mother's room. So now that kind of serves as a waiting room, as it were. So you don't have to worry about keeping track of 3 or 4 children in the hallway during rush hour, helping them use the restroom, the main restroom in the hall. Just use that restroom connected to the nursery and use that adjacent room, the old nursing mother's room, as kind of a waiting room. Now, Awana is a bit of a different story. Awana will continue to do restroom stops the way they've been doing it in the past. Awana uses the main restrooms, and they keep the doors open during Awana, and they have 2 unrelated adults present during those restroom stops. So for Awana, that will remain the same. One last point about the restroom stops. Of course, children ages kindergarten through 5th grade, they're allowed to take restroom trips by themselves. I should mention this as well. The children who may have special needs who are older, they should use the restroom that's connected to the nursing mother's room as well. So I know that's a lot for restrooms. It is a bit of a change, but I hope how you can see how this will help us to make sure that we never have volunteers alone with a student or a child in a restroom. Next, let's talk about inappropriate touch and discipline. Now, I want to make sure that you read this section of the policy very carefully on your own, but I just want to highlight this. Any and all forms of physical punishment or physical discipline is forbidden. So if you're a volunteer and you're serving here at Lamar's Bible Church, you may not spank a child or slap a child in any way. So just want to make that clear. This kind of discipline is forbidden here at LBC. Examples of appropriate touch would be giving high fives or fist bumps. It's important to be friendly, but we want to make sure that there is no spanking or slapping or hitting of any kind. Next, volunteers are not allowed to carry on text conversations with children. In addition to this, volunteers are not allowed to take or post or send pictures of children that they are working with. So if you're in nursery and that little 1-year-old is doing the cutest thing you've ever seen and you just got to take a picture, well, you got to refrain. You can't take pictures or post pictures or send pictures of children while you're working with them here at LBC. Next, in the event that any form of abuse is seen or observed, you need to do the right thing. Don't hesitate in contacting the appropriate authorities. Now, we are counting on you as a volunteer to do the right thing. If you see any kind of inappropriate behavior, you need to say something about it. You can come to the associate pastor, to the lead pastor, or to the elder chairperson to help you with this, but you need to report it to the appropriate authorities. All right, those are just a few of the highlights, important things to remember about our policy. We're counting on you all to help us with the safety of our children. Again, thank you so much for the work that you do here at LBC.